This is good. This is really good. Hello everyone, I'm Black Marvin. I'm a progressive psychedelic trance artist. I'm a professional sound designer, and I'm also a teacher for electronic music production. Today we are taking a look at Dist Coldfire by Arturia. In this video, this is my first look at the plugin, and it went pretty well, which means that the plugin has been designed in a very intuitive manner, and that's a really good news. Also, in this video, I try to balance the fact that I go into the details, but also keep a flow, and I want to keep the video short and straight to the point. That's always my approach, and I think that in this video, you get a lot of information, and after that, you can pretty much go and enjoy Dist Coldfire on your own, although I have not completely covered all the functions. In this video, I used a sound from the Psytrance Fusion for Pigments bank. If you want some high-quality Psytrance presets or just presets in general for Pigments, don't forget to check out the Pigments section on the Fractal Sound store. The link will be in the description. If you want more Arturia content or just sound design and mixing and mastering in general, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to this channel. I also made a list in the description of all my Arturia related tutorials, so if you want, you can scroll through this and have some fun. And now let's dive into Dist Coldfire by Arturia. So I'm inside Dist Coldfire. I'm running the demo at the moment, but I like it. I like it so far. I'm a big fan of the Arturia stuff, but not like a die-hard without any judgment type of fan. I'm genuinely interested into anything new they put out. I don't own all the Arturia stuff. I love Pigments. It's a great tool, and we're gonna use it today. And I have the Micro Freak. Anyway, I'm just the point is not to brag about my Arturia stuff. But just to put you in perspective, I'm genuinely interested in this product. We'll see, and I'm pretty much unboxing it. I've like tested it for, I would say, 3 minutes before firing it up the recording. So, and you know, I get the structure, and we're gonna discover it together. And what is cool is that it's pretty intuitive if you have basic understanding of concept of distortion, and if you're familiar a bit with you know, just plugins in general and the workflow of the sound, how the sound behave. But we're gonna talk about this, and by the end of this video, we should be able to really use this and also know what this is about. So without further ado, let's I'm just gonna disengage the Dist Coldfire for now, and I'm gonna show you what we're gonna work with today. I chose this sequence. It's a lead called Falling Over. It is from the Psytrance Fusion for Pigments bank, and it is there's a bit of a distortion already in the preset, but it's mild. And so there's like a lot of room for adding distortion after this. But I wanted to choose something that already has character, and maybe later in the video, maybe we'll test it on more simple signal like saw waves. But that's what we're going to work with today. So this is how it sounds. I wanted to choose something that had a nice cutoff action built in, because there's a nice recipe for acid and even more. And the recipe is the following. So you have nice source, usually saw or square, but works with everything. Then you filter with the high resonance, and that resonance goes into the distortion, and then that gives you some really nice result. The acid recipe is based on that, but you can get a lot of interesting result by doing that. So that's why I wanted this as a source. And now we're going to test a bunch of distortion on this stuff. Now, if we go into Coldfire, what we see just on the interface, you have an A distortion and a B distortion. Each of these distortion have a pre-filter and a post-filter. You can either get some specific reaction by filtering the sound before the distortion and also after. Usually is more for cleaning purposes. And sometimes some frequencies in the spectrum reacts very well to distortion and other not. So that's why there's some filtering available. So we have a bunch of routings here. We have serial. We can also swap distortion. We have a parallel. There's a stereo. So basically this means this is going to control the left channel and this is going to control the right channel. This is interesting. But what's even more interesting is that you have a mid side. So the A is going to be the mid signal and B is going to be the side signal. That's really cool if you want to get some mild, we can do some nice saturation with that, like mixing and enhancing type of saturation. So far this plugin already looks like it can give you some really creative, crazy result, but also some mixing and effective stuff more in the realm of enhancement and rather than creative madness. But so far it looks capable of doing both. And there's a band split that I guess we're gonna check that more. Okay, yeah. So okay, that's the band split. So anything I guess below this frequency is going to be A and everything above is going to be B. Now for each distortion, you have all these distortion types. We're going to go over all of them. I'm gonna try to not go too much into the details because this video is going to be very long. But so we have some heavy type distortion and we have some more subtle stuff distortion. Like if we go here, like transformer, man, I'm really curious about the transformer because, oh man, there's transformer. I'm really curious about this one. I didn't check it before. So transformer, for those who know, True Iron. So this is True Iron. If you've been following this channel, I use that a lot on the mixing purposes. And that is the most subtle distortion and saturation that I know of. So let's just test this right now. I'm just way too curious. But yeah, we'll get back on all these type of distortion. But let's try transformer now. Okay, that's cool. Oh my god. Okay, that's nice. Yeah, so this I guess it's the, I'm not a big gearhead, but I'm gonna guess that these are the type of metal used in the transformers, but feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. It's a guess on this one, but logically that would be it. So yeah, like I said, this is one of the most subtle distortions that I know of. But there's some really cool potential already. So, oh my god, I'm going off script, but there's no script anyway because I'm like unboxing stuff. But bear with me on this. What we're gonna do is go on the mid side, and this is going to be for mixing purposes. Okay, so A is going to be iron transformer, and I'm gonna go transformer here, and this one is going to be nickel. So it's going to be for the B. So basically what we're gonna have is a different transformer on the mid and different transformer on the side, and this contrast will maybe result into some mid-side stereo enhancement, but very subtle, can give you a bit of a 3D feeling. So let's see. All right, let me know in the comment what you think. Might be the placebo effect, but I think it does work. And I don't know if maybe you guys know this plugin. So this is a mid-side saturation, and that's the kind of effect you can get by doing some small differences on the mid side. You can get some stereo imaging 3D kind of stuff going on. So with Coldfire, we can kind of do this, but with, well, not with transformers only, we can do this with a lot of stuff. So that's really cool. Okay, so now back to classic exploration. We're gonna go back serial. That was the transformer. I'm like, this is already really cool. So let's start with the very intense type of distortion. Even anytime you see Wavefolder, that's usually very intense. So let's drive some Wavefolder. So you have the types, and sometimes, like you've seen with the transformers and this one, not always, but sometimes there's some subtypes of like different wavefolding type of distortion. But usually you'll see that most of the wavefolding stuff is usually very intense. So let's do this. All right, so I'm not going to go through each of these because, like I said, it's going to be a very long video, but wavefolding, that's how it sounds. And it's so far, it sounds harsh, but it doesn't introduce too much of weird stuff, too much of resonant artifacts. And that's something that I like a lot about good distortions. Rectifier is usually also pretty chunky distortion type. So let's try this. Man, this is cool too. And rectifier, if you want sometimes to have that fuzzy sound, but it's like a fuzz distortion, but without the messiness of fuzz, if I can say it like this. Oh man, that's like very cool. Like I'm already like it's so good it hurts because I feel like this is the demo and I will need to get this, otherwise, yeah. Anyway, this is good. Now, Wave Shaper, again, chunky stuff, usually. Okay, yeah, like, yeah. Man, there's, and if you really look at it, there's a lot of subtypes and lot of option. So exponential is obviously very intense. I don't know if they are classified by intensity, but it kind of looks like it. Let's try soft clip and diode, which is two words I like. Usually two subtypes I like in other algorithms. Whenever I see these, I like these. Let's try these. Moving on to some other distortion. Let's try force. Never, like you see tape, tube is probably the first type of distortion I've ever been in contact with whenever I started learning electronic music production. Germanium is, I've seen this in I think it might be also close to transformer type. Anyway, let's try force. Force, I've never seen this. I've never seen like force distortion. Let's try this. That's cool. I was expecting force to be another heavy distortion, but to my happy surprise, that's also another subtle one. Oh, also, by the way, I think I'm running in serial. So yeah, and okay, I might be running some, well, okay, it's okay. I might be running some transformer distortion from the start, so that but at least it's not falsifying too much the result. But all right, now I'm only running the A distortion. I was running also some transformer distortion, but didn't really falsify the results since it's the most subtle distortion ever that I know of. All right, that was force tape. It's another very common one, but it's very cool to like be able to have it in the arsenal here. Let's try this one. So tape distortion, it's a common one. There's a lot of like, the market is flooded with tape emulation type stuff. So really, when you look at the value of this, I have paying plugins for tapes. I have paying plugins for transformers. I have paying, I have different plugins that emulate only one type of these stuff. And in this one, I have access to a lot of distortions, like a lot. This is cool. So let's check out Tube. Okay, so here you see a pentode triode, that's different profiles. It's really cool. If we go back here, this is like a, in this hardware, there's different tube circuitry. There's two tube circuitry. There's the pentode and triode. And that's also what we can see here. You have pentode and triode. So you can either have half and half or just focus on one type of tube. That's, again, really cool and precise. Let's try germanium. I'm expecting something very subtle, but might be wrong. Not so wrong, not so right, but auxiliary mic. Okay, yes, it's like a preamp type stuff then. Then it's a preamp. Now let's open the advanced tab. On the obvious, there's the pre-filter, which I talked about. You can, if you want to get specific result with the distortion, you can get that. Most of the time you can, okay, so you can get really creative if you put some comp filtering before. So this, yes, it's distortion, but there's a lot of filtering aspect, because actually, so this is comp filtering, and I'm just gonna straight up go to function, and actually, no, never mind. Let's go to LFO. I want the waveform to be sample and all. This is like just like in Pigments. So if you want something random, I don't want bipolar, and I want to assign it here. Oh, this is dangerously cool. So you can, and on the rate, I want sync. I want 1/16, and let's see. So actually, I want to confess that on the pre-filter section, since I had not expanded it, I just assumed that it was like similar filter than the post filter, but pre-filter. But this is not. This is like a creative pre-filter, so we can get bandpass stuff. And now I still have the sample and hold stuff going on the frequency, so that should. This is good. This is really good. By the way, guys, this is not scripted in the sense that I'm really unboxing this, and Arturia, I have no link with the company, and I'm just like genuinely happy about this. And yeah, so now the post filtering is more of a classic filtering, but I would kind of have expected to have a mix knob here, but I guess that's okay. So this is really more like the cleaning filter if you want to clean the signal after on both ends. That's really cool. So all this time there was some multi-band compression going on with OTT style. I'm gonna assume that it is the same multi-band than the one inside Pigments. So okay, let's try these, and let's try to change the amount. So as you can hear, I put more amount here, and since you know that's quite intense filtering, it kind of leveled things up. So that can be really useful because whenever you're driving a lot of different filtering and you're carving a lot into the spectrum, this can help you like even things out. So that's really cool. All right, so the multiband is really for you. It's a tool of controlling the dynamic. It's always been, but specifically in this plugin, it's really gonna help you control the dynamics because you're gonna mess up a lot with the dynamics by filtering and distorting. So that's really cool. Feedback. I don't know. Well, is it gonna be like more of a type of ring modulation kind of thing, or it's more of a delay kind of thing? I don't know. Okay, it's like a delay. It's cool. It's like delay, and so far it's not like overwhelming, so that's cool. Sequencer, yeah, that's going to be really nice too. And is there like if you have random, what's random? Okay, scale. So that's yeah. So this is going to be like ever just random sequencing values all over again. Let's try that for fun. Let's assign that on the pre-filter. So I'm gonna deassign the LFO like this. Is it? Yeah, it's deassigned. I'm gonna go sequencer. I'm gonna assign it. Let's see. Okay, lots of thing going on here. There's that sequencing on the filter. And remember when I told you that the multiband is a tool for dynamics control? So just hear how random and, you know, all over the place it is with a low amount of multiband. And let's listen whenever I drive the amount of multiband, it sounds tighter and more in control. Of course, it doesn't fix everything. And whenever you're driving some serious distortion and filtering like this, some post EQ will be a very good thing to do. This is really cool. This is really, really cool stuff. I have not done everything that you can do with this plugin, but I think I covered a good part of it. And that was my unboxing of Dist Coldfire by Arturia. And that's it for this video. I really like this plugin, and I have to say that what I like about this plugin is there's also some mixing and mastering aspect to it, or more some subtle stuff, because I have to say that everything that is like related to crazy distortion sequencing, I'm pretty much you know, satisfied with multipass and all the kilohertz system, because the sequencing is very strong, and especially with the V2, you know, you can do a bunch of crazy stuff also with the filtering. But what I really liked is also there's some really nice subtle and soft saturation that you can, so you have all that crazy creative sequencing aspect, but there's also some nice mixing and mastering use that you can have inside Dist Coldfire. So that surprised me a bit, and that might make me buy this plugin. I have to see and make a decision, but yeah. If you want to learn more about electronic music production, I run a community of students. There's a lot of educational content there. There's some mentorship available, some one-to-one lessons, some group lessons, presets, and more. If you're interested, you can slide into my DMs on Instagram and we can discuss how we can help you reach your full potential. And until then, I will see you in another video, maybe about Pigments, maybe about Faceplant, maybe about a plugin that isn't even out yet. But in any case, it will be fun and educational. Until then, happy producing.